Your probation officer is not responding to you. You tried to call, you tried to text, you tried to email, and they still didn't get back to you. This video is just for you. Hey, my name is Brittany, better known as your favorite PO, and I was an adult probation officer for almost 5 years. So let me tell you, I know a thing or two when it comes to probation. Y'all want to see what really goes down being a PO, right? So it's time to show you how it really goes down. The PO can see if they have something behind them. You're not doing nothing. You're not doing nothing.
Trying to figure out what to do with this lady.
Okay, what happened? Tell me what happened. Tell us what happened.
She was
Oftentimes when your probation officer is not responding to you, it's either A, because they're super busy or they're super overwhelmed. B, that probation officer actually doesn't even work there anymore, so they can't get back to you. Or C, you're in violation and it's just not top priority for them to get back to you, and you might be looking at getting a warrant soon. So let's start with A, the first possible scenario. That probation officer is probably bogged down with so many cases. They may be having a hard time getting back to everybody, but I always recommend people to not only call and email their PO or text their PO, but go to the office or call the main number and ask to speak to a supervisor. 9 times out of 10, that supervisor will call you back before your PO because they have less cases that they're supervising. So basically, they have more time on their hands. Not to say that you're trying to get your PO in trouble or anything like that, but sometimes they just need that little push, like, hey, call this person back. You know what I'm saying? Leave voicemails. Make sure you write down every single call that you make, every voicemail that you leave. Write it down, take notes, because you don't want later on down the road to be like, for them to be like,
oh, they didn't reach out to me. They didn't call. They wasn't coming in.
You have all that proof written down of the dates and times that you called, you reached out, and the voicemails that you left. You need that proof so that it doesn't come back on you. If you've been on probation long enough, or if you're new to this thing, let me be the one to tell you that probation officers switch so much. Like, they will move on in the company, like they'll get a promotion or something, or they'll move to another agency, or they'll just flat out quit. Like, it's a revolving door, let me tell you that. In a lot of agencies, POs come and go like clockwork. So if you're getting a new PO, don't be alarmed. Because that's not always a bad thing. It's not always about you. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes the PO will leave and you won't have any notice. And that new PO is trying to get acclimated to the caseload and get, in touch with everybody. Let them know, hey, you have a new PO now. So sometimes that could be the reason why that PO is not responding. So it's not always a negative thing. Like, a lot of people feel like, oh, my PO is not reaching back out to me. I'm in trouble. Like, no. That's not always the case. Sometimes that is the case, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. But in certain circumstances, it's usually because the PO has switched positions, or the PO has left the job, and they're not even supervising your case anymore. So in this instance, my best piece of advice is, again, to call the main number to the probation office, speak with a supervisor. If all of those things result in still not being able to get in touch with this PO, call your attorney. Or if you don't have an attorney, call the court, and the court where you were placed on probation. That judge's office, call that judge's office. Let them know, hey, I'm on probation, because the judge is the one who placed you on probation, technically. So call that court, like, judge, I cannot get in touch with my probation officer. This is a problem for me. I've been trying to get in touch with her for X, Y, and Z. I called on this date, this date, this date, and I still have not had a return phone call. Listen. They are there to help. They are there to help you out. So make sure you try to reach out. Don't just stop, because then it will fall on you if you just try to reach out for, let's say, 2 weeks and you're not hearing anything back. That is not your cue to say that you're off probation, or you don't have to do what you have to do. You don't have to report. No, you still have to report. You still have stipulations that you have to follow. So cover your CYA, right? Isn't that what they call it? CYA. Cover yourself, because you don't want no trouble when they do reach out to you, because somebody will eventually catch up to you. I've been in court numerous times myself where the prosecutors, they'll be like, well, this PO didn't reach out. What did you do to get in touch with this person? And then it goes back on the person who's on probation. Well, what did you do to get in touch with probation, even though she wasn't calling you back? Did you go up there? Did you try to call the supervisor? Like, what did you do? You have to exhaust our resources. So don't just not get in touch with anybody. That's like the worst thing you could do. The last scenario is that you might actually be in violation. So if you're in violation, a lot of times the probation officer will not let you know. It's not because they don't want to, but that's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? they'll probably let you know at your next office visit. But if in between those office visits you feel like you need to talk to them and they're not responding to your phone calls or your messages, it could be that you're in trouble. Per se, trouble. I put that in quotes because, hey, what is trouble? But I always ask, if people are struggling with getting in touch with their PO and they think that they're in violation and they think that they're going to go to jail, call a bail bondsman. Get in touch with your local bail bondsman. Call them up. Ask them, do you have a warrant? That's like the easiest way. Before you go to their probation office, call a bail bondsman. Ask them, do you have a warrant? And they will let you know. So you don't have to go into your probation visit being fearful. Like, oh, I haven't talked to her or I haven't talked to him because I'm in violation and they don't want to tell me. Like, no. Be prepared. Go in there prepared. I don't think I can stress this enough. Go in there prepared. And also, if you know that you haven't been doing everything right, you know, maybe you had a dirty drug test or something like that, and you're scared to go in for that reason. And add that on top of your PO not calling you back, you're like probably a nervous wreck. You know, your mental health is like, what? I mean, your mental is kind of going in circles. You're thinking about all the negative things that could happen. We try to shift that energy and focus on doing something good for your probation. Say you had a dirty UA. Okay, cool. Pay the fees. Do your community service. Do your class. Like, when you go in there with some ammo. So when they come to you and they say, oh, you had a dirty drug test. You test positive for marijuana 3 times. You be like, yeah, you know what? I did. But I paid my fees. I did this. I did that. You know, have some good things to kind of balance out the violation. That's what I always recommend to people. Because when you start focusing on that negative energy, the probation visit tends to go downhill from there. So try to shift it a little bit. And if they want to keep bringing up that whole, you know, negative situation or that violation, of course they're going to do that. They have to address those issues. But just have a plan in place. So, but for drugs, I always tell people, go to NA, go to AA. If it's alcohol, you know, take some meetings. Give your officer proof that, hey, I've been to these meetings. Like, go without them having to ask you, because that's actually top tier. If you go without having to ask them, like you come in like, hey, I did this, like, you're going to get cool points for that. I'm trying to help you out. I want you to get off probation. I don't want you to go to jail. I'm here for you. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. If y'all have any other questions, leave them in the comment section below, because I'm going to be making videos for answering the questions that y'all have for me, okay? I'm going to be looking, I'm going to be reading, I'm going to be responding. So I'm going to be looking for you down in the comments. I hope this video was helpful. Share it with somebody who you think could benefit from the information that I just gave in this video. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up so it can get out to more people. And hopefully we can keep everybody out of jail. But until next time, y'all stay safe.